Hi everyone, I'm trying again to do this video. I just got interrupted by the phone. Anyway, I should have checked my videos before I did this to see what I'd said last time, but I'll just carry on. Forgive me if I repeat myself, 'cause I do have a habit of doing that. Today is cycle day 2, so straight away that tells you the cycle's been another bust. It is now my cycle 30 of trying to conceive number 4, which is quite depressing really. It's also my third cycle of Clomid, which, it being day 2, I'm due to start tonight. A bit apprehensive about it because I've had the first month I said I was fine. I had some side effects, but nothing I couldn't cope with. Second month has been hellish. I've had all the side effects I'd had the first month, more intensified, and new ones. So it's been really rough. My first cycle on Clomid, I had the perfect cycle apart from the odd side effects and the fact that we obviously didn't get pregnant and weren't able to try because hubby was in hospital. But in that I got a very positive OPK, like the most positive one I've ever had ever, and I use the cheapy ones because I test like 3 times a day. And I got the most definite 100% positive on cycle day 14 in my first cycle. And like I say, it's the strongest I've ever had since I've been testing, and I only had it for that one day. And normally what I get is the line is not as dark as the I think you call it control line, but it's it's obviously positive. I compare it to the ones I had days before. I've either normally if it's negative I have literally nothing, not even a faint line normally. So I know the difference between that and it being positive. So like I say, first cycle of Clomid, bang on day 14, and nothing after. And then I had my AF started on day 28, and then AF started the next day. So it was the perfect average, normal cycle. Ovulate day 14, 28 day long cycle. Something I haven't had. So I didn't let that get my hope. I knew I wasn't going to be pregnant that month, obviously, because we weren't able to try, with hubby being in hospital and not being well. Didn't let it raise my hopes that the second cycle of Clomid, would be this perfect average, normal cycle, and everything would go along swimmingly. I didn't let myself think that, just because I didn't want the disappointment. And I was right. What I got was I started testing with the cheapy OPKs from about day 10 or 11, I think, cycle day 10 or 11, and we'd started baby dancing or whatever you want to call it on about day 9, because I'd had a fairly short AF, heavy, getting the heavier. I have endometriosis anyway, which makes them heavy, but Clomid seems to make them worse. I don't know if anyone else has that experience. Maybe some people have the opposite, but I think maybe that teamed with the endometriosis gives me horrible ones. But they're shorter than they used to be. They tend to be about 4 days, whereas before we used to be looking nearer to 8 to 10 days. So that's one good thing. So yeah, cycle 2, Clomid cycle 2, went a bit bonkers, to be honest. I had, like I say, I started testing from day 10, and about day 13, I did a test, sort of glanced at it when, straight away, and I didn't see any line coming up, so I thought, well, it's negative still. Put it to one side, forgot about it. Came back maybe a couple of hours later, and there was a line. Now, normally, I've done that before, I'm obsessed with looking at tests through magnifying glasses, I've done a lot. And if it's negative, it stays negative. Other than a white line, I don't get a coloured line hours later on these OPKs, unless it's a positive. And this line had come up with some colour in it, and I thought, oh, that could be a positive. And again, because I'd left it so long, I thought, oh, I'm not going to swear by it. Ran out of OPKs that day, really, really helpfully, because I was just that organised. So I've put my order in through Amazon, which is where I get mine from, because I can buy a whole load quite cheaply. I buy packs of 30 for like £5 or £6. So, like I said, I'd run out, and this was day 13. And then day 16, I took a cheapy pregnancy test, just to give my fix of peeing on a stick, as it were. And it came up with a faint line. And now I didn't get my hopes up. I didn't think, oh, that means I'm pregnant. I knew I wasn't. But I know that other people may not have this experience, but with me, these cheapy pregnancy tests seem to pick up ovulation. They have done many times. I've got my hopes up. So I thought, oh, maybe that's what it is, and that happened for about 2 days running. I got these faint lines on the on the pregnancy tests, and we baby danced or whatever you want to call it. And then about a week later, my new ovulation tests, my PKs had come, and I thought, well, I'll do them anyway, just because I wasn't sure whether I had ovulated or not. I'd had symptoms on and off throughout the month. So I thought, well, I'll do them, just because like it's an addiction now and I can't actually help myself anymore. And they came up, would have been CD24, and it came up positive. Not as bang, fireworks positive as the first month, but a very clear positive. And the next day as well, so the 2 days running I had the clear positive. Now, unfortunately, we didn't baby dance around that time. I think the last time we had before that was 4 days before that positive came up. The only reason we didn't is, I don't know how much I've mentioned about my hubby not being well, but we had a bit of a scare. He'd had a repeat CAT scan, and they'd found something on his liver, and we had this big fear before seeing the consultant for an MRI that it could be something nasty. And bless him, he sort of said he didn't want to run the risk of leaving me with 3 kids and a baby, which was devastating. So obviously that came before everything else, and I also kept monitoring myself just because I'm on the treatment and everything. But luckily, we found out a few days later it wasn't anything sinister. He does have to have ongoing monitoring, and he has blood clots and other problems stemming from them, but it wasn't what it could have been. So we're back on track for the TTCing, apparently, according to him. Anyway, back to that cycle. So that was day 24, 25, positive OPK, no baby dancing, as it were. And I counted from there because I thought I've got no idea when exactly I've probably ovulated. From what I could see, it looked like I could have done any time between the 3, but I knew in my heart it was probably then, around the time that we weren't able to try. So I wasn't expecting good news that cycle at all. Sure enough, not only did I not get pregnant and I'm now CD2 of the AF from hell, my cycle jumped to 38 days again, from 28 days the month before to 38 days, on the same dose of Clomid. So I feel a bit cheated and a bit annoyed on that, to be honest. Fair enough, I'm not, I wasn't going to get pregnant because we weren't able to try, but why did my cycle have to go haywire again? Just when I thought things were right. And this month, the hospital didn't want me to have my CD21 progesterone blood test because it was good the previous month. First cycle it was 57.8, and she said from that I didn't need to be tested again. So whether I'm supposed to now just carry on the rest of it was a 6-month course, so that was like another 4 months on it, without being monitored. My husband's not happy about that. He feels I should be keeping an eye, because like I say, I am having all these side effects and no one's even contacted me about that. So when I'm considering sort of what to do on that one. Today is the day I would start taking it again, and I am wondering whether to take a slightly higher dose myself. I know other people have done that. Or is this, hopefully, fingers crossed, no other problems, will be the month we get to try properly for the first time since I've been on the Clomid, whether I stay on my dose, and if nothing happens this month, actually ring the hospital and say, look, you've put me on this medication, can you monitor me, please? Can you help me? I'm struggling on it. I'm really suffering with side effects so badly. And my cycles have not been regulated. They were regular once, and now they've gone again. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe it's frustrating because you just want it to work, don't you? So I'm on 50 milligrams. So I'm not quite sure what to do on that one. Like I say, the AF is horrible. It's just the heaviest it's ever been. Like I say, yesterday was day 1, and it was just bang straight away. From having 2 spots the night before to bang. It's not good. I'm in agony with it. I'm meant to be going to my Zumba, my precious Zumba tonight, and I can't because standing up hurts too much. I don't mind sprinting around and throwing shapes. Walking to the school run was hard enough, so I probably won't be Zumbaing. And hopefully the cycle won't go on too long. I've got to take the tablets from day 2 to day 6, so I'll be feeling rubbish all week again. The side effects also, that's another thing that changed last month. The side effects seem to stay with me throughout the cycle. They didn't go away. I know other people have had that, and I always hope that that's it, just while you're having them, you have the side effects and then it goes out your system. That's just not the case, fortunately. And you also can't donate blood or anything, it does restrict things. But obviously, if by some miracle this is my month and Clomid works, my vlog next month would be very, very different about Clomid. But it's like when you're going through it, it's not fun. But I did work out, again from reading other people's posts, that if March was my month, it means the baby would be due at Christmas. So I'll probably end up going to labour somewhere stupid, knowing me. Anyway, I don't think that's all the news on that one. I hope everyone else is going well. I'm looking out for birth announcements and everything from people and more BFPs. But not from me this month. So, hope everyone's well. Blessed be.